quarter turn to the right, please. Quarter to the right. Quarter to the right. And face front, please. I'm going to hand you the microphone, and you now have 5 minutes to tell us whatever you think we need to know. And please watch Mr. Mason. You don't want this? He's waiting. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be here, be part of the Individual of the Year program, to introduce myself to you and explain a little bit about my involvement with GWRRA. My name is Bryan Lape, and I'm a member of Chapter J out of Aurora, Colorado. I've been an active member for about 2.5 years, a little over that. My lovely wife, my best friend, is Emma, and together we have 3 kids, a son 25, 2 girls ages 22 and 15. Emma and I used to ride bikes together. I rode a Vulcan 1500 and she rode a V-Star 1100. But I remember one day in 2008, she comes into my office and she says, you know, I think we really ought to buy a Goldwing so we can ride together more often. And I can tell you, I was all over that. I found my 2003 cherry red Goldwing sitting in Fort Worth, Texas with only 6,000 miles on it. In 2010, I discovered this little magazine called Wing World, so I thought I'd check it out. I also discovered wingstuff.com about that same time, but it's probably a story for another time. But one of the things I never realized was this huge organization sitting behind the magazine called GWRRA. In late 2011, I discovered the chapters were there, so I thought I'd check those out. And what I found there was a lot of really good people eating, laughing, having a good time, and we were talking about riding. The more I got active in the chapter, the more my chapter director kept coming up to me and says, you know, you really ought to consider getting a vest. A vest really promotes the organization and it shows unity in everything that we do. It also gives us the opportunity to celebrate each other's achievements. But I kept thinking, I'm not a vesty kind of guy. A vest is where riders usually see that they put their little pins, patches, and little dangly things. Well, the more I got involved, the more I really wanted to become a safer rider and a better rider. I took a BRC, an ERC, an ARC. I took a PLP, I joined the Levels program. I even became a PLP facilitator last year here in St. George. And one of the things that I realized after taking all of these classes is I started getting my own collection of pins, patches, and little dangly things. In 2012, I invited myself to go to Wingding with my chapter. Barb Pons approaches me about getting a CB radio, and she tells me how it would add to the safety of the ride. John Pons approaches me about taking a road captain's class. He says, we'll learn to ride better together as a group. But I kept thinking, Interstate 80, 1,000 miles, it's a straight line. How hard can that be? But I took the class and I got the radio. And afterwards, I realized what the class is really about. It's about communication and what's going on around you. And it's about where your riding partners are and what they're doing. It's also another set of eyes that see things that maybe you don't see. And after that class, well, I got more pins, patches, and little dangly things. You know, I've always been willing to help out with Chapter J however I can. I stood up their first Facebook page. I brought some additional technology to the chapter and how we do business. And when I was asked to be treasurer, I didn't hesitate. But only afterwards did my director come up to me and said, oh yeah, by the way, as an officer of the chapter, you're expected to wear a vest. So, but on the bright side, I have a place now to put all of my own pins, patches, and little dangly things. You know, one of the things I've realized about GWRRA is we don't just talk about fun, safety, and knowledge. Guys, this is really what our organization is about. But what it's also about is the opportunity to make friendships. These kinds of friendships are the ones that last a lifetime. I like to think that I've made a few of those since I've been here, and I really hope that the opportunity is there to make more. And as a last note, as I now serve as chapter director, I have the opportunity to really encourage other people to build on their knowledge, to hone their riding skills, and yes, want to guess, get a vest, so that they have a place to put all of their own pins, patches, and there you go. I would truly be honored if I were selected as Individual of the Year. not only to represent Region F, but to represent GWRRA in the fashion that it truly deserves. Thank you.
I'm going to ask you a question, please. If you were a color of the rainbow, what color would it be and why?
You know, I would like to say I would probably be orange of some variation. Because I like to think at times that in a crowded room, even though, believe it or not, I'm an introvert, but I like to be the bright spot. I like to bring laughter to a situation. I like to get people involved, and you know, the sun itself or the orange color itself is warm. I like to think that that's kind of where I'm at. You know, I'm a compassionate individual. I love being around people. I love getting people involved. And anytime that you see orange or a warm sense, that to me, that's really people just want to sit back and be part of it. So.
Of the Region F 2014 Individual of the Year, it's my pride and my pleasure to introduce you to Bryan Lape.